Welcome back. It's time for us now to get into our interview segment, and we're going to be talking about the Amputee football. This is football that is played by persons who, one, have got either a disability of some form or have lost a section of a limb. And to take us through that is the Secretary General of the Kenya Amputee Football Federation, Peter Oloo. Peter, welcome to KBC Channel 1.
Thank you so much, sir.
And Peter, for you, getting into the sport, into football, what is it for you? Because you qualified to play for amputee football by virtue of having a disability.
Okay. First of all, my name is Peter Oloo.
Peter, yes.
Yes, and I am the Secretary General of Kenya Amputee Football Federation. So to start with, we started playing amputee football by 2010. We were selected, people with disability, by a Turkish guy who was here in Kenya. So after that, we were tested and I was fit to go and play. For you to play an amputee football, you have to have maybe one leg not functioning or maybe one arm not functioning. So I qualified to do that because while I play the amputee football, my one leg need not to touch the ground. So the other one leg which is not functioning well should be up high above the ground. So long as you touch the ground with that one leg which is not functioning properly, then that one is a fault for the other opponent.
All right, yes, we'll be getting down to the rules. Yeah. So the selection, how did the person come up? And I mean, since you've mentioned it, somebody from Turkey who came in and said, there is this sport that you people can play, amputee football.
Yes.
What was the criteria used to select the first players in Kenya?
The criteria was, it was also those who are willing to play and to embrace the game in Kenya, which we were the pioneers as well by that time. And again, those who are fit, those who are able to maybe to run with the crutches and the ball as well. Because you need to know how to run with the crutches and the ball as well.
Now, let's look at the surfaces here, because you're talking about running with crutches. What were some of the challenges when you started playing?
Some of the challenges were because I'm not used to crutches. Even some of us were like using one, they were like using one pole. So, in fact, the Turkish guy is the one who taught them to drop the pole and use the crutches, the elbow crutches. And it was not all that easy. But with time, we catch up.
All right.
Yes.
Now, when you do you do that, I mean, when you're playing, you've mentioned two things. One, if, for example, you've been affected by polio, a disability due to polio, and you've got still both legs, I mean, you probably have to walk with them. What is it like, holding up that one leg up, like you mentioned?
It's very tiresome. It's very, very tiresome, but because of the love of the game, you cannot even feel it. Because the game we normally play with like 25 minutes first half, the second half is 25 minutes. It's not all that long like the normal game.
Oh, so 25 minutes. So let's take a look at the format. How many players aside?
We have 7 players aside. 6 infield players and 1 goalkeeper.
Okay.
Yeah, and we play the half field. The normal field we can play 2 games at the normal field.
That's a normal state, like in Kasarani you'd have on one end,
that is it. And
you play, rather than from goal to goal, you play right across.
Yes, we can play both halves. But that one is our full court now. Yes, and also our goal is like a little bit, that goal of the handball people. It's a little bit smaller, because the goalkeeper is having one hand.
Yes.
So by catching a ball with one hand, it's very difficult. So you cannot be having that whole goal post for you to defend. Yeah.
Okay, when it comes to the goalkeeper, that's a person who's got both feet both legs, but has to play with one hand.
Yes.
So if an able-bodied person wanted to come and play with you, would you allow him to play as a goalkeeper?
Yes, a situation whereby we don't have somebody with one hand maybe who is that perfect. We can as well use a normal goalkeeper, and by playing, he will have to tie one of the hands at the back. Not even tying it, but after tying it, he will put it inside the jersey for it not to be hanging anywhere. So he'll have to use the one hand until the game finishes. But there is no way he can even change this hand, maybe to use the other hand again. It will only be one hand up to the end of the game.
So if it was me,
if it was left, if
I decide to, so I'll have to say so it would have to stay inside here?
It will have to stay inside.
So
your jersey.
I'll be like this for 50 minutes.
For 50 minutes.
So if the left hand goes in, that's it for the next 1 hour.
That's for the next 1 hour. There's no way you can change the left hand with the right hand. It will be the left hand and the left hand alone.
So that and that's it.
And that's it.
Unless you have unless you the only one, unless you have the capacity to use only one hand.
Yes, but But that will be assuming that you are using only that one hand, that the other hand is no more, it's not there. So there's no way you can even change this hand to be on the left again. So that one you'll be having advantage over the opponent, and you cannot be allowed that.
Well, quite interesting. The rules make sure that you play fair. That's what sport is supposed to be. Let's now talk about the rules of the game, starting with the goalkeeper. What is it that the goalkeeper can do and cannot do?
The goalkeeper can even kick the ball even to the other goal, can even maybe have the ball from the main goal to the other goal without being punished. The goalkeeper cannot hit anybody inside the goal area. And the goalkeeper, so should there be anything with the goalkeeper, the other striker of the opponent can be even staying with the goal here at your goal post. Then if the ball comes, then he will automatically hit it to score a goal. There is no offside in our game.
All right.
Yes.
No offside.
No offside.
So, okay, let's assume that this place where we're doing the interview is the goal area. Can the goalkeeper leave the area?
The goalkeeper can leave the area. The goalkeeper can leave the area and he will not be penalized.
Okay.
Yes.
So that's how it is.
Yes.
Then what about for the infield players, the 6 infield players? What are the rules that they've got to follow?
The 6 infield players, we can as well change them, all of them.
You can,
We can
100% substitution.
100% substitute.
So,
in fact, that's why the other European guys, because the Amputee football is more in European world than even Africa. They have like 20 players. Like now we are going for the World Cup. They'll be like carrying 20 players plus maybe 10 officials. So they'll be like extending all of them.
Okay, that sounds Kenyan. Too many officials. That's about an official for every 2 athletes. But still talking about it, what are the rules that you have to follow? You've mentioned one, that either you amputated, so that means you've got to use your crutches and play with only one foot. And what is it that a player who is an outfield player can do and cannot do? What are they not allowed to do? What
they cannot do, the infield players, that the time you are playing, there is no any other moment you'll touch the ball with your clutches. The moment you touch the ball with your clutches, you have to play without touching the ball until the 50 minutes ends. The moment you touch it, maybe if it is in your goal area, then it will be a penalty automatically.
Wow. Yes. So, but given the nature of the game, you could be running and the ball hits your crutch. Is that allowed? Is that a ball to hand, like they say in normal football?
Nothing like a ball to clutches. That one will be a foul automatically. So we have to play with a very cautious style.
All right. Then how do you make a tackle?
It's very funny. It's very funny.
Okay.
But we normally play without a ball hitting the clutches. It's a fantastic game.
All right, so how do you steal the ball from your opponent's foot?
The same way you can, the able guys do. Yes.
So
you do it without the clutches being seen anywhere.
Oh, so
the ball.
So the crutches do not clash.
Yes.
That's number one.
Should not clash, yes.
And number 2, then you also have to know how to slide and steal from it.
That is it.
Now, you mentioned something very interesting about the World Cup, because we'll be coming to that in the selection, because it's the second time Kenya's going for the Amputee World Cup. The first time they did that was in 2014. They finished 19th out of 24. At the FIFA World Cup in Russia, squads comprised of 23 players. 3 goalkeepers, 20 outfield players. What's the standard composition of an amputee football team?
The standard composition of an amputee football team is 15, because we have 7 aside.
Yes.
So we normally have like
a goalkeeper, 6 outfield players, those will start, and then how many substitutes? 8.
8. And sometimes maybe you can even have 10.
But at the World Cup,
it depends with your financial capacity to carry them.
So for example, in 2014, when you played at the Amputee World Cup, how many players did you have?
By that time, we really went to Mexico while we were not all that organized as well. We went with 11 players, because the funding was not all that well.
Okay.
But this time around, we started early, so we are expecting to get more of our house in order before we move to Mexico, because we started like January, but the World Cup is on October.
Something else that you've got to know about amputee football is that since 2010 and throughout the time, and even at the World Cup, Peter, this sport has been played as a mixed gender sport. That means the men and the women, the boys and the girls, all play together in one team. Peter, what has been the experience of you playing mixed gender sport. I mean, for the last for 6 years before Kenya became the first country to have an all-women's team. The first 6 years and the last 2.
It was very encouraging because the management of the world sports, of the World Amputee Football Federation, they wanted to engage ladies so that they can as well embrace the game. So the first team who are having the lady in the World Cup is Ireland.
Yes.
And the lady from Ireland really played well. You cannot even imagine that she was a lady by the time she was playing.
That was in...
You know, the Ireland guys, they are stout, yes.
Yeah, they're better known for their rugby.
Yes. So while they're playing, you cannot even tell that this is a lady or this is a guy. After the game was finished, it's when we knew that they were having one lady in that team. And
that was in 2014?
2014, and they played very tough.
Did you play against them?
We didn't play against them.
Yes.
Yes.
But you watched it and realized afterwards?
Yes.
And how has the sport been taken up by women here in Kenya?
They have really embraced it very much. So, because it's something outdoor. You know, something outdoor for the people with disabilities more seen than indoors game. So they really like it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Now that they know that they are the first lady to be in the amputee football all over the world, they're really happy about that. It really encourages them to go and play.
And who's their competition now? Because I mean, Kenya is the first country, by the way. Yes. If you go to the World Amputee Football Federation website, you'll realize that the photo of the national women's team is there right up on their page, and they say, first amputee football team, all women, is from Kenya. And who's their competition like, if you were to start?
They would be given a chance in this coming World Cup, but the Ireland team were also looking for maybe having their ladies team to come over, but they were not able to put their house in order. So we are having 3 teams now: the Kenyan, the Ireland have followed Kenya, then we have the Sierra Leone guys. So they were given a chance to go and showcase whatever.
So you've got 3 nations playing.
3 nations now
playing women's amputee football.
Yes.
And for Kenya, over the years, we've seen the team grow, and you now have got professional players. Tell us about these professional players that you've got.
Yeah, Kenya Amputee Football Federation, I think we are the first disabled sports in Kenya to be having disabled professional players playing outside Kenya.
Uh-huh.
And we have 4 guys from the federation. Yeah, we have Dalmas Otieno.
Uh-huh. No, not the former cabinet minister.
No, the former cabinet minister.
Just sharing a name.
Yeah, not sharing a name. We have.
Where is Dalmas Otieno? Where is Dalmas Otieno playing?
We're back here home, playing with our local guys so that they can help build the team to the World Cup.
Where is Dalmas? Oh, okay, you mentioned the first one, Dalmas Otieno. Where is he based?
Playing in Turkey.
For which club?
I cannot know. You know, the Turkish names, they are really hard to mention.
All right, Galatasaray is the easiest.
Yes. We have Daniel Safari.
Uh-huh.
We have Nicolas Keyo, and we have Mohamed Munga.
Okay.
In fact, Mohamed Munga, I think, is the top scorer in Turkey.
In Turkey?
Yes.
So basically, you've got and what's the experience that they bring back to Kenya when you play against them?
Yeah, they really encourage our local players because, you know, we have many good players as well locally. So by seeing that they're playing the international players, it really makes them to play their best tactics ever.
So, are these 4 players, are those the first 4 call-ups to the national team, if you were to ask?
Automatically.
All right. Yeah. So we already have 4 names: Dalmas Otieno, Safari, Keyo,
Munga.
And Munga.
Yeah.
So 4 of them already in that team that's going to the World Cup. And that team is going to be selected in Kakamega.
Yes.
And for this sport, how deep is it? And how deep is it in the country?
Not all that much, because now it's when people are trying to embrace the amputee football. Now that everything is devolved to the country level,
yes,
they are really up against it. So we are hoping that in the next World Cup, that is 2022, we'll be having like every county playing amputee football.
How many counties are playing now?
12.
Which are the counties? Nairobi?
You have Nairobi, Kakamega, Kisumu, Homa Bay, you have Bungoma, you have Trans Nzoia, you have Bomet, you have Mombasa, you have Migori, you have Mandera, you have Machakos, and you have Makueni.
Now that basically reads like where to look for football in Kenya.
Yeah.
So I know sitting volleyball is elsewhere.
Yes.
So where you find normal volleyball is where you'd find sitting volleyball, another amputee sport.
Yes.
So from these representations, including from our brothers in Mandera,
yeah,
how, when you bring them to for the trials in Kakamega, what's the format that you're going to use to select the national team?
It will be like playing a round robin game.
Okay.
Out of that playing a round robin game, we will have the number 1, 2, 3, 4.
So is it county based? Is it club based?
County based.
County based.
Yes.
So
By them playing inter-counties, then we'll be selecting the best players out of the tournament.
I'm looking at it, if you're going to play a round robin format, and that is just for one round, that would be 11 matches for every county.
Yes. We'll have to do that because we'll be in Kakamega for 3 days
Okay.
at Bukungu Stadium, yes.
Now,
From 23rd to
how
26th.
much is 50 minutes? Let's just consider that. I know you can use the two of them at the Bukungu Stadium.
Yes.
That means you can do, you're going to be playing, just the number of matches.
We can do like 12 matches a day.
12 matches a day.
Yes.
What time do you rest? Gor Mahia players are playing, complaining of fixture congestion, and they're playing every 3 days.
No, but these guys, they are really into Amputee football. They're really into football. They really want to do whatever they like. And that's why this is the second time the Amputee football is going for the World Cup. And I'm sorry to say that the Arab stars have never been to the World Cup.
Nick Mwendwa is
So
watching,
this is
so be
challenge.
careful.
So this is challenge to Nick Mwendwa. So we are going to the World Cup the second time. Then the Nick Mwendwa guys, they have never been to the World Cup, not even the African Cup of Nations to say.
No, they've been to Cup of Nations.
Long time ago.
Yeah,
While-
yes,
while
okay,
even I was
14,
not born.
14 years ago.
Long time ago.
2004 is the last time they were there,
Yeah.
and I've met one man who's been to 3 Cup of Nations. So that would be so he would feel very. Tobias Ochola would be very, very unhappy if you said about the Cup of
Okay,
Nations.
that's
But
fair.
anyway, so you play all these matches.
Yeah,
Are you going to play the mixed gender format, or are you going to play men only?
men only.
Men only.
Yes.
So how will you select the rest of the squad? How many players are you targeting?
You're targeting 15 players
All right.
out of the 4.
so
Now we're
11.
targeting 11 players, yes.
So how will you pick these 11 players?
The best players in each and every tournament, in each and every game.
All right.
Yes.
In amputee football, do you have roles? Midfielders, defenders, strikers?
We have rules.
No roles. You see, for example, a defender, a midfielder, a striker, do you have them?
We have rules, but normally, if it comes to maybe playing, anybody can score, anybody can defend, anybody can be a midfielder.
All right.
Because the size of the pitch, the pitch is not that big.
What are the risks that come with it? Because I'm trying to think of Bukungu Stadium, and the surface is being used, I know at times, and that's a place where it can rain hard.
Yeah.
What are the challenges of keeping your balance as you run on grass?
That's also another challenge here because the amputee football should normally be played on a turf,
Okay.
like that of City Stadium.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so should there be rain scats and all during that day, then we'll have others about to cancel the event, or even maybe to take it to Kisumu, because Kisumu we have a turf.
Kisumu has an artificial turf. That's where I was coming from.
Yes.
I was coming to,
Because
but
it should be playing on a turf, because all the grasses. Because sometimes if the grass is soft, then the grass can even maybe go deep into the grass, so that maybe the player can even injure himself or herself.
okay.
Yeah.
Now, in 2014, Kenya finished 19th out of 24 teams at the World Amputee Football World Cup.
Yeah.
And in Africa, the top nation then was Angola,
Yeah.
then Ghana,
Yeah.
and Nigeria.
Yeah.
So, for Angola, we would understand, given the sad history and the mind, so a lot of amputee sport has been taking place there. Ghana and Nigeria, how do you rate them today?
Ghana and Nigeria, in fact, in Africa, those who are playing the amputee football outside Africa, most of them are from West Africa. In fact, the Ghanaians are like almost 10 playing in Turkey. Yeah. We have Nigerians like 5 playing in Turkey. So it will be a very tough game, but I don't think there's any way we'll meet with the Ghanaians or the Nigerians in the pools. But they also have a very tough game. If you leave Angola outside, because Angola is the second in the world.
Uh-huh.
While we were in Mexico 2014, the Angolans were like having the cup from Russia. But the Russians are the champions right now, yes.
So
Angola really played very well. Yeah.
So Angola, and where would you want to place at this year's World Cup?
Us, if not France style, then it would be Croatian style.
That's a silver medal.
Yes.
That's what you're looking at, but you're playing against Angola, second best in the world. Russia, defending champions, they really wouldn't be.
Maybe we will not meet them because of the
So you're looking for you're hoping to get an easy path through this tournament.
Yes, because in our group we have a group F. We have USA, Turkey, and Iran. The toughest group there is Turkey, and most of our players are as well playing in Turkey, so they know one another. So they know maybe how to go about, maybe how to pass or how to struggle with the Turkish
Americans.
guys. The Americans are not that tough.
What are you talking about here?
In Amputee football, I can as well say that we will beat them.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. We'll follow that up.
Yes.
The Iranians.
Yes. The Iranians not as much as Turkish as well. The Turkish are the European champions. Yes.
So where would you place Russia, the defending champions, then, if you were to meet them?
Right. Now that they are the champions, they are very tough as well. So I can say we can have a draw with them.
All right.
But they're very tough, because now our guys are very tough. They are really training very hard for the World Cup. In fact, they put all of their strength in this coming World Cup, so that they can even show the other guys that they can as well do whatever they cannot do.
All right.
To bring back maybe something home.
The funding of the sports.
Yeah.
Very interesting. We've spoken about the sports and the funding. We haven't spoken about it. How do you fund the sport and how do you fund the trials in Kakamega County? Taking place on the 23rd, 24th, and 25th at the Bukungu Stadium. If the weather decides to go gaga, then they'll think of going down to Kisumu.
Yeah.
Funding.
The funding on this one, because normally the national government, they only sponsor the team from the trials level to the World Cup. So now that everything has been devolved to the county level, the funding has been, we've really taken the funding to the county level, each and every team to be supported by their county. All right. To the training, to the trials. Okay. So this one for the Kakamega, we've really involved the senator is really involved from Kakamega. Senator Malala. Yes, and there's a senator from Kakamega. The lady is really involved in this. Of which she's also pledged to support the team, and even for the meals, she'll be doing everything for the meals. And on the part of Oparana, they really get into it to make sure that it's a success in Kakamega, to maybe help realize more other talented kids from the villages to come and play Amputee football. So after that is when maybe we'll involve the national government. And on the part of the national government, we really talk to the ministry through the sports department, which they even wrote us a letter, supporting letter to go and help us solicit for funds from the minister himself. And as well, we've also talked to the corporate bodies. We've talked to the CEO of Cusco, Mr. Ototo, has really given us kits, and also Mr. Kioma from Nakara. They've also promised us kit, which we are really looking forward maybe for other corporates as well to come over to embrace whatever Mr. Ototo and Mr. Okioma of Nakara has done, so that they can as well be proud of their amputee football team in Mexico. All right. Yes. So the best of amputee football, the 23rd, 24th, and 25th of August in Kakamega County at the Bukungu Stadium, and entry is free. Entry is free. All right, good. I just negotiated that for you very quickly. I didn't ask for how much they're going to charge. In Kakamega, I know you love your football. You can be at the Bukungu Stadium over those 3 days and watch amputee football at its best. Thank you very much, Mr. Oloo, the Secretary General of the Kenya Amputee Football Federation. They'll be doing their trials and heading to the World Cup, and that is from the 24th of October to the 5th of November in Mexico. So, and we wish them all the best. I'm Daniel Wahome. Thank you for being with us throughout the sports, and we go over to my colleague Victor Muyakane, who's going to wind down the bulletin for us.